Hey, y'all, welcome back. The 90-day No Talk experiment. We are back up in this place. Alrighty, y'all, let me apologize for last night. So, we had that death in our church this past week, and the funeral was yesterday. So I knew for sure that I was going to be out yesterday for a good part of the day, good part of the morning, all of that, and into the afternoon. Well, traditionally, we have not done the repast. Hey, everybody. Well, we ended up doing a repast. So we had one of the wife, her co-workers, they did the repast meal. But I did not take into account that we needed somebody to stay over to help clean after the family left. So myself and another lady and then one of my good friends actually stayed over to help clean up after the repast. But by the time we got done with all that, my friend who had came like 2+ hours to come as well to the services was there, and she's our best friend. My sister and I, we're all really good friends. So we were like, okay, let's go have dinner. So it's 6:30. I'm like, okay, y'all, I got 2 hours, but I got to be home by the specific time. So we're in the restaurant, we're eating, talking, all the things. My internet's working just fine. Life is great, all the things. So I say bye to them in enough time. I leave early so I can really get home and get myself together. I posted I might be a few minutes late, just to let people know, if you don't see me at 9, I'm on my way. Well, by the time I got on the highway, I was only 5 minutes from home. Got on the highway to come home and got off on my exit. My internet starts circling. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? Something is just crazy. And I got off the exit, was driving down the road, internet still circling. I get in my driveway, internet still circling. I'm like, what is going on? Well, we've had some pretty bad windstorms here over the last 3-4 days. And I mean, the wind's just whipping out there. And threw the internet off. So we are trying to turn it back on, get the modem started. I'm trying my hotspot on my phone. I can't get the data to work. Just so I can post, sorry, y'all, won't be live tonight, internet issues. Yolanda messaged me, hey, are we live tonight? I'm like, I couldn't even respond to email. So it was pretty bad yesterday. So I was like, well, it's nothing I can do. And then I tried to update it this morning because I was up again checking to make sure that it was working or not. But it was fine. But it was a whole ordeal last night with the internet. It wasn't me. I was here on time. I had every intention of doing last night, but the internet was out, and we didn't. Then we got a text message saying your internet, there is an outage in your area, and it just kept going. And I had even had my sister, can you even text me the number of the internet company? Because I couldn't even get online to try to find that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. And then finally, in one of the groups we're in the area where we live in, it just said, anybody internet go out? Anybody internet out? And she sent that to me. She's like, yeah, girl, everybody out. I'm like, well, Lord, okay. So anyway, we're back tonight, day 50. So 40 days in. We're actually 43 days in, but I've missed 3 nights, and I hate that. But hey, we're going to take the pressure off and move along. Day 50 is called Anomaly. Now, an anomaly is something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected. It is the unexpected. It's an oddity. It's a peculiarity. It's an outlier. It's an irregularity, a deviation, or an exception. It can also be characterized as a freak. We've had people coin themselves, term themselves, or people term us Jesus freaks. And so, have you ever been considered a Jesus freak? I know I have. My children, probably out of anybody else I know, think I'm more saved than anybody. And there are some days when I just don't I don't feel like I'm doing all the things I should be doing as far as what the Lord would require of me. It's like there's so many things I need to be doing, and I don't do everything. I'm not trying to live under the law, but I am trying to be the best version or representation of Christ that I can. And I feel like I fall short a lot of days. But not very long ago, of course, back to when this book was written about 2 years ago, I had a friend of mine, I believe it was my friend Glenn, who said, "You're an anomaly." I can't, if I quote you, if I misquote you, Glenn, I'm sorry. But I believe it was my friend Glenn, and it might have been another friend that says you're an anomaly. And I was like, well, how do you come up with that? And again, that's something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected. The opposite of anomaly. Now think about this. And then decide who you want to be. It's average, it's regular, or it's normal. That person is average, regular, or normal. Right? Do you want to be average, regular, or normal? Or do you want to be a peculiarity? If the Bible tells us that we are a royal priesthood, a chosen generation, a peculiar people, if the Bible tells me I'm a peculiarity, then when a dictionary tells me that, why would I feel bad about that? I don't want to fit into the group, right? Everybody is always trying to fit in. I've always been a misfit. I never fit anywhere until I came into the body of Christ or the family of God. It was the only place that I felt like I belonged somewhere. Every other place, I felt like I was just trying to get in. You know how you on the outside of a circle and you're trying to see over in, or you're trying to get involved and people never let you in. That's how I've always felt. And here I am joining this peculiar bunch, these Jesus freaks, and I feel like I'm at home. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I know the church is going through a lot of transition right now. There's a lot of stuff happening. People are in all kinds of foolery and all the things. I get that. But I feel when I come into the church, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. We talk about the 7 mountains of influence, right? Religion is one of the mountains. Religion is my mountain. It's exactly where God has placed me. I'm not in education. I'm not in entertainment. I'm not in politics. I'm not in the financial world. Religion is where I'm supposed to be, because there are people who are in the church that don't know they can have a personal relationship with the Lord. They've never had an experience with the Lord. They go to church, but they've never had that experience. And so I wanted to be and want to be that particular individual that goes into even the church and say, you can be all those things that God says you can be. That is what I want to do. That's my mission. That's my portion on this earth. And we'll think, well, Shakema, those people go to church every Sunday. Yeah, but the devil goes too. So don't feel like everybody sitting up in church is saved. They really not. You don't know who is who or what unless you have a personal relationship with people. And people aren't going to let you into their deepest and darkest secrets in places unless you prove to them that if I expose myself to you and show you my flaws, the places where I don't measure up, and you're not going to judge me. So I believe that there's a space in that particular mountain for me to be. Whoever would have thought it? Me, right? Nope. A girl from the wrong side of the tracks, because that's where I was from. I was from the projects. When I got married to my ex-husband, he lived in the in the town part. I lived in the projects. I'm a project chick, y'all. I was from the projects. No one ever one who no one ever thought would be anything or anyone to be labeled an anomaly. It blows your mind when people say things about you that you never think about yourself. Like, I've never thought I was different, although I knew I was different my whole life, because I've always tried to fit in, right? Nobody wants to be the standout. Nobody wants to be the one that never fits in, but I was always that one in my peer group, or in my family peer group. I had the long, beautiful hair. Everybody else had what was called pickaninny hair. My dad was part Puerto Rican, my mom was Black, so my skin tone was different. I was very smart. I was very thin. I was all the things that made you stand out and be different. In certain groups, you were what people pictured. And in certain groups, You weren't anything about what people pictured. In some of my family, they were color struck. I made the grade. I made the cut because I was just light skinned enough to fit in to the group that people liked. The darker skinned people didn't always get treated as fairly. So I never didn't, I always wanted to find a place to be, but I never really belonged any place, because even though people would say, oh, she got good hair, I didn't want to necessarily have good hair if that made me different than everybody else. I just wanted to be a part of something, right? Don't we all want to be a part of something? And I never found that something until I joined the body of Christ. And I was like, it was almost like this weight had been lifted. And you could breathe like, this is really where I'm supposed to be. But nobody else thought that I should have been where I am. People right now don't think I should be a preacher. People don't think I should be a pastor. Even my mom, when she was sick, she was like, I thought you're supposed to be a Christian. I am. But being a Christian doesn't mean I have to respond the way you think I should, because I never did what she thought I should do. And I don't know exactly what that was, but whatever it was, I didn't live up to those standards. But for sure, I've been called such. How does one become such? How do you become an anomaly? I don't know that that is something that we can ascribe to be. I don't know that we can strive to it. I think it becomes a decision. I think your decision about your life sets you apart. And when we don't see a lot of people doing what you're doing because of the decision you've made for your life, that does truly have people think, there aren't many people like her. She is someone that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected. It's probably something different about her. So in my opinion, I believe it was when you are not what is expected by others. When did this happen for me? Is about 2013. In 2013, I started a group. It was online, of women, and we read a book by Priscilla Shirer called The Resolution for Women. It was probably the first book we ever read in my Daughters of Grace group. And so Titus 2 Women came later, but Daughters of Grace read The Resolution for Women. And in that book, in one of the sections, in one of the 13 resolutions, Priscilla just said she decided not to be catty with women, because women can have that competition, that competitive edge, that my lace front got to be better than your lace front. I got to have red bottoms. I got to have this brand and that brand. And I got to try to get this man, and he got to be high value and six figure and all these things. And then you have every other woman trying to do the same thing. And I just said to myself, I'm not going to compete with other women. I'm not going to, there's nobody watching on either platform, wherever you are. There's nobody in my immediate sphere of influence or in my immediate sphere of people I know in my circle that I want to be like, that I want to compete with. Let me say, I don't want to compete with you for any reason, because I have qualities that are specific to me and you have qualities that are specific to you. And if the truth be told, we're never going to be on the same level playing field. We're never going to be. I have my highlights, you got your highlights, and the two cannot be the same. They're never going to be the same. I wasn't going to be catty with women. I'm not going to fight for my place among women. Can I tell you, I will walk into a room and people will notice. We were at the funeral yesterday, and this was an elder in our church. We've been in this church for a long time, 16 years. And so there were people we knew from their family, right? Like the other pastor in my church, her name is Pastor Lisa. And her family, Aunt Bert and Uncle Terry and her mom, and Fudd, her brother and sister. I know those people. I've been with them for 16 years. But so people knew me and could recognize me. But I had so many people come up to me. I'm just standing or I'm sitting, minding my business. The family is there receiving guests. And they're like, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, you look so great. You look amazing. I mean, I just had people person after person after person just come and tell me how amazing I look. So why would I have to compete with somebody else to get compliments? They come whether I want them to or not. It wasn't like I was sitting over there going, hey, somebody compliment me today. Let me wear I've got my hair all did. I was just at a place, paying my respects, minding my business, working in the kitchen. I was back and forth between the sanctuary and the kitchen, make sure everything was straight. Why would I even find it necessary to compete with you. For what? There are specific men out here in the single world that don't desire women with short hair. You got long hair, boo, you got them. It's no competition. There are single men out here who don't desire women with kids. I got 4 of them. Boo, you got them. There are men out here who don't desire strong women. I'm a strong woman. Boo, you got them. So there's somebody for everybody. What is the competition? I'm not going to be like other women. I'm not going to demand my rights from anyone. Well, I am this person. You better treat me like you. If you don't respect me, fine. Don't disrespect me, because that's not allowed. Don't do that, because you will get told in the most nice Christianist way I can tell you, or you will get ignored. Either one. Probably that ignoration would be better, because you'd be like, what's wrong with her? I just try to tell her off and she's not listening. I'm not listening to any of that. I won't be haughty or arrogant, because I absolutely know that I ain't nobody. Not to you anyway. To God, I'm just as special. I'm the apple of his eye. I'm his heartbeat, his footprint. I'm all of those things. But to you, I might not be anything. I might not hold a position in your life. So why am I going to just make you accept me for who I am? Why am I going to show up in those rooms where people see me anyway and acknowledge me, and then have to have a poor attitude when I get there? Why? What is the reason? There has to be a reason why we do the things that we do. Who has not affirmed you? Who has not esteemed you in your life? When I see people who act like that, my question is, who hurt you? And why don't you, why you got to act like this? Why do you have to come in and push your weight around? I just lost 70 plus pounds. I don't need to push no weight around. I'm good. 80 pounds, 80 some pounds, 82, 3, 4 pounds. Why do I got to push my weight around? I don't have to do any of that. I am who I am. I posted the other day, sis, whatever room you find yourself in, take up space. But taking up space doesn't mean you have to push yourself into the face of other people. It just means I am where I am. I am here. Hey, I'm available, whatever you need, but I'm really okay without you. I'm not to miss an opportunity to help somebody when I'm able to do it without anything in return. I can forsake myself for other people. I don't need anything. I don't need anything. I don't have to have anything. I'm really good. I haven't missed a meal yet. I have plenty of coffee. I've got plenty of food in the fridge, clothes in my bedroom, in the closet. I've got a couple bags I need to open now full of clothes. So why would I not help someone if I had the physical capacity, the financial means, and the opportunity all the time? And I will see so many people just not reaching out to help other folks. See, it's the unusual things that we do that cause people to say, you're different, you're anomaly, something is just different about you. Sure it is. It's the things that I do versus what somebody else wouldn't do. Why would I go and I sent my kids home with my sister. I said, hey, on your way home, can you just drop them off? Because we hadn't been home all day. The dogs were in. They need to be let out. I said, can you please just, take them home? And I stayed over 2+ hours after the funeral services were over to serve. We stood out of the way. We waited for them to be done with what they needed to be done with. And then we just made sure that everybody, they got to take home all the extra food. We cleaned. I'm vacuuming. I'm making sure the tables is wiped down. I told Marjay, I said, we left it better. We left it like we found it. Right? But that was my peace. It's the one thing I could do. I can't bring your loved one back. I don't have enough words to comfort you and console you for your loss. You feeling okay right now in this moment, but when you go back home to that house and that loved one is not there, when all the people leave and you feeling a type of way, there's nothing I can do to come and make that better for you. But what I can do is make sure that the food is packed up, that you got some meals on the way, that you have the things that you need, that I send a few people on their way down there to visit you who happen to want to come and sit with you and just sit and share and talk. I spend a lot of time with older people as well. And people are like, well, why you spend so much time with old people? Because most people don't want to spend time with those people. And don't bother me none. My very dear friend who always, she'll ask me to help her do stuff. And she's like, you're so kind. I'm really not kind in myself. I'm kind because the Lord allows me to do it. But if I didn't help you, who would? Because not a lot of people have a lot of time for older people. I grew up with my grandparents. They were old. And so I learned to take care of them. And now I take care of other people. But not everybody does that. So it makes you different. It sets you apart. What do you do? What do you say that sets you apart from other people so that folks are looking and say, well, she's not average. She's not normal. She's not regular. This is above and beyond regular behavior. It's those things that get you, that put you in places that you didn't even think you should be. You know, we've heard people say your name is being mentioned in rooms that you've never been in before. It's because of something that you've done that people have heard about, seen, and they have you heard? Do you know who this girl is? I know who she was, and she was doing all this. And that's how people talk about you when you're not in rooms. Okay. I by no means think I'm an anomaly. I really don't. I don't think there's anything different about me than anybody else. I just think I do what I do, and I'm not concerned with what you do. So I'm not in a comparison with you. So I never think of myself as anything special. I really 100% don't think of myself as anything special. I will agree that I'm different for sure, on purpose. I don't want to be lumped in with every other woman who do the things I mentioned above. That's not my portion. It's just not for Shakema. My portion is who I am now, the person that you see now, the mom that you see now, the financial person you see now, the friend you see now, the potential or future spouse that you see now. This is who I am. I'm not the same as everybody else. So different from others, yet wanting to give a chance to prove just how normal I am. Being free to be me without being misunderstood. This is me. I'm not trying to get anything from you. You don't have enough stuff to give me to make me do stuff. I'm just going to do what I want to do out of the goodness and kindness of my heart. And I just want to be accepted for who I am. Strong, independent Black woman who doesn't demand her rights to be treated as such. I know who I am. Why do I have to wear a billboard, a sign, or a t-shirt that says I'm a strong, independent Black woman? I already know that. And when I show up, you'll know it as well. A woman who believes in traditional gender roles with no desire to be in charge while having the ability to lead everything if necessary. I can go in and run a meeting, no problem. But I don't have to run the meeting. I can easily take the minutes. I was the recording secretary for 11 years. I know how to take a minute. Do you hear me? But if nobody is there to lead the meeting, then let us all come to order. We need to get started. Okay, what is our agenda? What's our agenda? Okay, this is what's on the agenda. Who's doing what? Okay, this is what I need. The truth, I'm nothing special. I'm a simple, regular woman trying to live a quiet life that makes a huge impact on the world and everybody in it. See, that's the whole part. I'm nobody, even worth mentioning anywhere. But my nobody-ness wants to make a difference in this world and everybody that's in it some type of a way. How do you do that, Shakema? You emulate Jesus. He didn't go around saying, I'm Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth has arrived. Jesus here. Jesus is here. But wherever he showed up, people knew he was there. And people came to him for whatever reason they needed. Whatever they needed, they knew when the healer was there, they could go and get healing. When peace showed up, they wanted to be in the peace. When their banner was there, they wanted to be there as well. So that's what I want to do. I want to radically change the world, one woman at a time, one decision at a time, one video at a time. And again, I'm sitting here thinking about some things I've been dealing with for the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, God, I'm not any of these things on this paper. I might have been that person 2 years ago, but I sure don't see her in the last 2 weeks. I just don't see her. But it's really not about what I see. It's about what other people see. Because I didn't say this about me. Somebody else did. And I'm still doing the same things that I normally would have done. Because what I do is making an impact somewhere. And that's the thing. Just wanting people to see the Lord in me. He's the anomaly part, if we really think about it. What people see, the difference, the change, the irregularity, the weirdness, the freakishness, whatever they say or see is not you. It's him working through you. For we are the hands and the feet of Jesus. It's up to us to take care of people when they need taken care of. It's up to us to be the extension of himself when they don't know him yet. Right? How is he going to even do all the things for them if they're not even in covenant relationship with him? So because they're not in relationship with him, he's a little bit afar off from them, but we're in their immediate sphere of influence. So we can be his extension. And that's so different because people will say, oh, you know so-and-so. Oh, yeah, girl, ain't don't nobody talk to her. She don't have no friends. You be the friend. You be the friend. You be different. You go sit with her at lunch. I tell my students all the time, who's the new kid? Somebody sit with the new kid at lunch. I'm challenging you to be the difference today. Some people take me up on it. Some don't. And it's all well. It's all good. But we can't always be the same as everybody else. Sometimes you do have to step outside of your boat. Peter said, bid me, Lord, is that you? When they were in the boat, Jesus out on the water, he said, Lord, is that you? He said, bid me to come. Everybody else in the boat just chilling. They're like, I don't know if it's him or not. It looked like him. Could be him. Peter said, if it's you, Lord, bid me to come. He said, come. Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water. Do y'all not think that they were talking some type of way about him? And then right at the end, he started to doubt a little bit and sink, and Jesus pulled him up. Come on now. You got to be strange enough, weird enough, freaky enough to jump out the boat and do the things that nobody else wants to do. Go to the people that nobody else wants to go to. Help those who have never received help before. Help those who get help and take the help for granted sometimes. But they always come back needing help because it might be what you do that helps them change their ways in their life. Who's to say? But it's up to you. You get a choice and a decision. I decided in 2013, I'm just not doing all this stuff that everybody else is doing. There's one man and 4 women in the room. Listen to me. He get to pick whoever he want. But for me to throw myself at somebody, I ain't throwing myself at nobody but the feet of Jesus. And honey, I do not see no blood stains on your hands and holes and in your feet. So you can just go about your business. If you ever think that I'm going to show up at a place where there's limited male attention and try to throw myself at somebody, please, I know not. I am not. Because that's, again, not my portion. But what I am going to probably do is show up to whatever that place is and say, is there anything I could do to help anybody? Can I get something for you? At the end of a meal, I'm going to go around and clean up plates and throw stuff in the trash. Can I help you clean today? Is there somebody invites you to their house? Ask, can you help in the kitchen? Maybe they don't want your help, but at least you can ask. And if they do say yes, I'm like, I was trying to ask. I knew she wasn't going to say yes. Just go in and help. Roll up your sleeves. Oh, don't worry. You don't want to help in your nice, pretty dress? Girl, I got this on Amazon. What you need me to do? Or take a change of clothes because you know you might jump in. I bought a change of clothes. Don't worry about it. I'm going to the gym after anyway. And just put this on and I'm going to help you in the kitchen. It's all good. Whatever. Find enough time in your life, your busy schedule, to go to a single parent's house that you know is struggling to get her laundry done and do the laundry. Mama just had a baby. Go wash the dishes. She don't want you to hold her baby. You might have a germ. But what you can do is go wash them dishes, wipe that toilet down so that at least she can have a clean place to sit her rump on and do her business before she go back and take care of this baby she don't know how to take care of. Bring a meal. Host a meal train. Something that makes you different. We think Anomaly means all these outrageous, outlandish things. It's not. It's very simple stuff. It's very simple things. Take out the trash. If we go to my grandma's house and the trash is overflowing, I tell my son, Jackson, take the trash out. When I get my grandma in the car, she's trying to put gas in my car. I said, if you ever pull out your credit card when you are in my presence again, we're going to have a problem. And I don't have a problem with my grandma. I am taking care of you now because when I didn't have a place to go and food to eat, you fed me. And that's the gospel truth. That's my dad's mom. When I didn't have no food because my mother had already smoked up the money, I could walk blocks and blocks to my grandmother's house and she would always feed me a meal. If you don't think that I can put a Golden Corral meal on my card, we got issues. Further, deeper than Mm-mm. Those are things I can do. But those things, those seemingly normal things, are not what's being done in today's times. I think that's my prayer, that the seemingly irregular becomes regular. I pray that everybody finds an elderly friend that can't order her own stuff on Amazon and y'all start doing it for her. Who can't do whatever she needs done and you help. Who needs somebody to help her do whatever. That you find people. And I'm not talking about allowing yourself to be used. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you find spaces that you can help because you know you have the expertise to do it, or you have the time. I used to always look at married people and go, oh my gosh, I wish I was married. And I still do, but I'm single. And in my single season, I have more time on my hands than anybody else I know. So the time that I have, I try to spend it helping people, because I know as soon as I get married, my attention will be diverted to my husband. I'm going to have to give him time. So I may as well do as much as I can while I can now. Because I don't have to ask nobody, can I go to so-and-so's? Or, hey, Miss So-and-so needs some help. So is it okay with you if I go over after church and help her? I got to ask nobody nothing. I just get in my car and go. Here's what should become normal. Not competing should be normal. All of us can be beautiful. All of us are beautiful. We all created in his image according to Genesis 1:22, 26, 7, and 8. So why am I comparing myself to you? My makeup just made a little bit different. Or maybe you don't wear makeup at all. On Instagram, y'all got the natural filter on just to smooth out the skin. But this is the real Shakema. It's exactly what it is if I would have makeup on. I don't have nothing on today. Preferring others over ourselves should be normal. Helping those in need when we can should be normal. Taking the last of what is given away, taking what is last while giving away what is first should be normal. Celebrating when others celebrate should be normal. Taking on the burdens of others when you have the capacity to do it should be normal. As I view things, it crossed my mind that Jesus was, to most people, an anomaly. He didn't make sense. Why is he doing this? What does he want in return? That's what most people think when you do stuff. Why is she doing this? What she want? People always think we're self-serving when all we're trying to do is serve others. I'm not serving me here. I'm 2 hours over my time frame. I was supposed to be somewhere else doing something else. But because I did not remember to plan ahead, then I had to take that on myself. And so it was perfectly fine. I found a ride for my children to go home, and I stayed and did what I needed to do. And that was just how life was. It was no problem. He did things people didn't think were normal, helped people no one else would help, and went to places others wouldn't go. To a lot of people who have that missionary gift, they go to the highways and the byways, to the uttermost from the guttermost. Probably my most favorite person ever outside of Jesus is Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Mother Teresa was saint. She's Saint Teresa now. She has been sainted by the Catholic Church. I know her as Mother Teresa, but Saint Teresa, she was in a cloistered situation, which meant she lived in the convent, was never to go outside of the convent walls. And she saw the people in the streets of Calcutta starving, dying, just all the things. And she went to the Lord and she said, I know there's more that I'm supposed to be doing instead of staying in my comfort zone inside of these walls. So she petitioned to be let out. Because she was a cloistered nun, she could not leave the order. She petitioned to the Vatican that she be let out. And they only agreed to let her out for a certain amount of time. If you've never watched a movie called The Letters, it is her life story. I would actually go and when I saw it, it does to my heart what people should be doing. Now, that may look different in 2024. It may not look the same. She took 2 saris, that was it, and 2 rupees or a few rupees. And she went to live. She said, I'm going to live with the poorest of the poor, Now, what is it like to be poor? But there are poorer people than the poor folk. She went to live with them. And the truth is, they didn't want her because they said, why are you here? You don't belong here. You're not like us. You're not the same as us. Why would you want to help us? What they were really saying is, what is your ulterior motive for being here? What kind of clout or accolades are you trying to get by being here? And what she said was, you may not want me here, but you need me here. And we know her story. She would take in the lepers, the people who were sick, the people that were left to die on the street. She said, nobody should be left to die alone. And people should die with dignity. If you got to go, why are we going to open up just throw you out on the street? We're not going to do that. We're going to provide a place. I don't have much, but this is what I have. And what I have, I'll share with you because I find enough value in you to share it with you. And that's what I want to be. That's what Jesus did. He went around and found people who needed good things done, and he did good things. The man with the withered hand, he couldn't even use his hand. Jesus said, stretch forth your hand. That man immediately was able to use his hand. The person who got lowered down on the mat and his friends put him in there, he said, your sins have been forgiven. And who are you to forgive sins? He said, okay, if that ain't what you want, pick up your mat and walk. And the man just got up and go. Jesus went around finding things that he could do for people. And we sit in our happy homes or in our four walls on a Sunday thinking we're doing something for the Lord. I agree that we should not forsake the gathering together of ourselves among like believers, but there's a time and a place and moments and spaces when you need to get outside of the four walls. You need to uncloister yourself and go out into the highways and byways and find the people who need you, because they need you. And if they need you, why won't you help? Some people don't feel needed. It's because you're not needed by the people you want to be needed by, but you are needed by those who need you. And they're not the people we want. I remember, and I'm done, I remember starting a book club way many years ago, over 20 plus years now. And the Lord, I wanted these specific women in the church to be a part of it. And I sent out, I did invitations, invited everybody, made the meal, spread out everything. And do you know, on the night of the first book club meeting, not one person showed up that I invited, not one. And my feelings were so hurt. I was so crushed. And the Lord said to me, just like I'm talking to you, listen to me. People don't think God talks to you. That's a lie. He talked to me. I don't know what he's doing for everybody else, but I'll tell you what he do over here. He said, now the women that you wanted to come didn't come. Now you can invite the women I want to come. And he gave me the name of 5 women, and they came the next time. And they were called the Daughters of Grace. They were my very first group of Daughters of Grace. And we had that book club for several years before I moved from the Charlotte area to where I live now. Because I wanted a specific individual. I wanted this lady and that lady, and she was somebody, and she was somebody. And hey, girl, how you doing, deacon wife? You know, you wanted all those people. And God said, nope, I want her, and her. And they were people nobody knew in the church. We don't even know if half the people knew they went to the church. But those were the ones that God wanted reached out to. And so some of us who are sitting around feeling so unnecessary is because we want the people who we want. And God's like, no, if you would just let me tell you who to go and help, it's going to make such a difference in your life and their life. If you would just allow me to tell you who, what, when, where, and why. And you just say, okay, God, send me wherever you want me to go. I had to settle that in my heart. God, wherever you want me to go, to whomever you want me to minister to, it is what it is, and I'm just going to do it. And on a regular day, it's not anybody that you would think. It's just not. But it's my people. It's the ones that God said, this one. Go get this one. The woman caught in the act of adultery, she probably had no friends. They was about to kill her. We don't know what they was finna do to the man, but she was about to get it. And Jesus walked over to her and he knelt down with her in the dirt. And he knelt down and wrote something in the dirt. When he got back up, he looked around. He said, "Woman, where are your accusers?" Everybody was gone by then. Those are the people that God is calling us to. It's the ones that nobody else would help. It used to be on Netflix. It's called The Letters, but I think they took it off. You may want to try Amazon Prime or just Google The Letters, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, and see where it used to be on Netflix. Now watch it over and over and over and over and over. And when you watch it, you're going to see her life and what she went through. And I identify so closely with what she went through. The Letters. Thank you, ma'am. As I review things that crossed my mind, that Jesus was, to most people, an anomaly. He did things people didn't think were normal, help people no one ever would have helped, and went to places no one would have gone. Oh, to be like him. Genesis 1:26-28 in my loose paraphrase says that we are created in his image. Further pondering makes me think that people like me should be the norm, not the anomaly. Perhaps all of us should be willing to go, do, be, help, and serve just like Jesus did. Being what others have said about me used to bother me. Most people don't want to be around the unusual. But thinking about Jesus, I finally have decided I am in good company being someone that I'm not expected to be. Guess being an anomaly is not so bad after all. As I do every other night before I finish, and I'm early tonight, y'all. Look at me, praise the Lord. Do you know him? Do you know him so much to the point that you're willing to go, do, be, help, serve people that nobody else wants to serve? And it could be in this media or that realm of influence, or over. It doesn't always have to be the projects. Don't always have to be the slums. It don't always have to be something that we feel like is so low and beneath us that when we do it, we feel good about it. It can be anything that he tells us to do. Where would he go and serve today? Who would he go and serve today? I saw another thing. This really touches your heart right here. I think it was on a video. I can't remember what I was watching. It might have been a reel or something, but I saw this. There was this elderly gentleman. He was in the slums, probably of some third world country, I believe. That I don't think they spoke any. I don't remember any English, is what I'm saying. So it was in some country. He was on the side of the street, and he was sleeping, sitting up. He was asleep, but he was sitting up because he was on the curb of the street. A man, I think he had on some shorts. He had on some shorts and a t-shirt. I don't think he had shoes. This other man comes down the street. He's nicely dressed. I mean, a pair of nice pants and a shirt. He sees this man on the street. He's filthy. This man is filthy. Doesn't look like he's had a bath in a month of Sundays. This gentleman goes and finds a bucket of nice, warm, soapy water, and he proceeds to wash this man clean with his bare hands. He respects his privacy enough that he doesn't strip him down, but he washes him clean with his bare hands. And the look on his face, because people were looking at him very strange, like, what are you doing? And his face was so, if you say anything to me, I'm going to hurt you right now, because y'all saw this man sitting on this curb day after day after day, and none of y'all did nothing about it. Don't come over here asking me what I'm doing. See, we see people in their situation day after day after day after day, and we judge it instead of jumping in and trying to help where we can. I'm only offering what I can do. And maybe all that I'm able to do is enough to help you in this moment. It may not be lifelong help, but it's what I can do in this moment. And then you got everybody else just looking around. Well, why are you doing that? Get away from me. Get away from me. Because I'm doing what you should have done. And I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm doing it because it's necessary. Do you understand? We're not doing stuff for recognition. We're doing it because it's necessary. Shakema, I don't know what to do. Sure you do. Ask the Lord. There's single moms out here that never have a day out to themselves. If you're trustworthy and you've been in a relationship with that person and they know they can leave their baby with you for a few hours so she can go get her hair done, maybe she has spent her last on groceries and she can't even afford to get her hair done. Hey, babe, here's a few little bucks. I just put this in the little envelope. I want to bless you to get your hair done. Can you imagine what that does to somebody? She want to be her best. She want to do the best she can, but she spent her last trying to make sure them kids got everything they need. Ain't got another extra dime, nickel, quarter, penny to rub together and nothing else. And we're walking around with our red bottoms on. How much do red bottoms cost? Because for the price of red bottoms, you can go to the grocery store and you can buy groceries for a week for a family that can't afford the groceries. It's either the rent or eat. You got your Dolce & Gabbana. You got your Dooney and Burke's bag for the price of a Coach bag, the small one at $650. You could have paid rent, or you could at least pay the utilities, the water bill, and get some groceries for somebody who don't know how it's going to get done no other type of way. But that's what we do. Gotta have my red bottoms. Right. Yeah. So you wear your red bottoms. And I'm going to take my red bottom money and just do whatever God tells me to do. And I'll just wear them black bottoms in there I got. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Miss Barbara. I didn't see that. Please keep her friend Trisha in your prayers, just diagnosed with terminal cancer. Father, we come against sickness, illness, disease, everybody that is facing something right now in their body, the sickness. You are Jehovah Rapha, the God that heals, and we believe that we are healed. Your word says by your stripes we are healed, and we thank you, Lord, for that healing. We thank you, Lord, that it comes now unto us and into the bodies. In Jesus' name, we come into agreement with healing in Jesus' name. So there it is. Are you an anomaly? You can be, and making a decision for Christ makes people think you are. But who cares what other people think when what Jesus thinks is what's important and what matters. I'm rooting for you. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Tomorrow night, day 49. Wait, what? Tomorrow night. Wait, what? Okay, you guys, like the video, share it, thumbs it up, do all the things. Thank y'all for coming and listening to me. I'm a crybaby. It's all good. He's going to be glorified whichever way. So I thank you all for joining me tonight. Looking very much forward to being with you tomorrow. Know that if for some reason I do not come on, there's something that has kept me. I'll try to do my best. But if you hear nothing from me, it's the internet. So I love you guys, and I'll see y'all all.